from Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Liz Palka reporting. UN leader demands ceasefire. The UN humanitarian chief said Wednesday that a 30-day ceasefire across Syria has not been implemented. The Security Council adopted the resolution to allow for aid and evacuations, especially in Eastern Ghouta. Here's Chief Mark Lowcock.
So, if there's been no humanitarian access since the resolution on Saturday, what has happened in the last few days? More bombing, more fighting, more death, more destruction, more maiming of women and children, more hunger, more misery. More, in other words, of the same.
Lowcock said trucks full of aid have been waiting for entry. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov said Wednesday rebels in Eastern Ghouta are blocking aid deliveries and preventing people from leaving. Lavrov spoke through an interpreter at Wednesday's Human Rights Council meeting in Geneva.
Now it is a turn for the militants and their sponsors to act. The militants entrenched there who still continue shelling Damascus, blocking aid deliveries and the evacuation of those wishing to leave. We call upon the members of the so-called American coalition to ensure the same humanitarian access to the areas in Syria under their control.
Russia has ordered a 5-hour daily humanitarian pause to allow civilians to exit the region. That started on Tuesday. Residents said they do not trust the truce. Lowcock said the 5-hour daily pauses called for by Syria and Russia aren't sufficient to deliver aid. He added nearly 600 people have been killed in Eastern Ghouta in the last 10 days. The 27 remaining nations of the European Union will start working on how they see their future ties with Britain next week. More on voanews.com. This is VOA News. 4 UN peacekeepers were killed and 4 others seriously wounded on Wednesday in Mali. Here's a spokesperson for the United Nations Secretary General.
A UN military vehicle was hit by an improvised explosive device on the Boni-Douentza axis in the region of Mopti in Mali. Preliminary reports indicate that 4 peacekeepers were killed and 4 others were wounded.
The spokesperson says medical evacuations are currently ongoing. 6 Malian soldiers were killed in the same area in a similar incident a day earlier. President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, has pleaded not guilty to a new set of charges. They were filed against him last week by special counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller has been probing Russian interference in the U.S. election. The new charges allege that Manafort, with former business partner and Trump campaign aide Rick Gates' help, laundered more than $30 million through offshore accounts, hidden offshore accounts. A trial date has been set for September 17th. The United Nations has set up a 24-hour helpline to help fight sexual harassment among its staff as part of its zero-tolerance policy regarding sexual exploitation and abuse. Lisa Schlein reports from Geneva.
The so-called Speak Up hotline is part of the UN Secretary-General's wider initiative to fight sexual harassment and to support victims and witnesses. The UNHCR and other UN aid agencies say their partners must adhere to a strict code of conduct which covers sexual exploitation and abuse. They say any UN personnel found to be in breach of the code would be subject to disciplinary measures, including dismissal from service. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
American evangelist Billy Graham lies in honor in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda after dying last week at the age of 99. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reflected on Graham's impact.
His warmth and graciousness lit up living rooms and touched hundreds of millions of hearts. And this Scotch-Irish son of dairy farmers became a trusted friend and counselor to American presidents and powerful leaders around the globe.
The man known as America's pastor is getting a rare honor last given to civil rights icon Rosa Parks upon her death in 2005. Members of Graham's family joined members of Congress, as well as President Donald Trump and his wife Melania, for a private arrival ceremony Wednesday. We have much more on this honor for Billy Graham on voanews.com. I'm Liz Palka in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.